Hare Krishna. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari.
Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari.
Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradari.
Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari.
Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradari.
Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari.
Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana.
Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana.
Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana.
Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana.
Yamunatira Vanachari.
Yamunatira Vanachari.
Yamunatira Vanachari.
Yamunatira Vanachari.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari.
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 Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada.
Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada.
Jaya Om Vishnupada Paramahamsa Paripuracharya Hastatara Shishimaris Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai Nitai Gaura Premanandi. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasaputale Srimati Tamal Krishna Goswami Namni Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasaputale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namni Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharin Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschapradastari. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nasa Prashu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistakir. Hare Krishna. Good morning and thank you for coming to this morning Srimad Bhagavatam class. Although it's a Monday morning and many of you will want to go to work, so I do appreciate that. We are doing this morning 5, Canto 5, the Creative Impetus, Chapter 18, the prayers offered to the Lord by the residents of Jambu Dvipa, text 8. So this is in Hari Varsha, I believe. Yeah, thank you. So Yeah, this in Jambudvipa, the different islands or land masses, and if I remember, Prahlad Maharaj are the inhabitants of Harivarsha, and they are worshipping Lord Narsingadev, and they're actually praying for benediction so that they can be engaged in the devotional service. Generally, most people, when they approach the Supreme Person, the tendency is to ask for material benefits. But over here we can see that in the Srimad Bhagavatam, generally you find most of the prayers are for devotional service, mostly. Even the prayers by Daksha is also centered on devotion, but he asked for material benediction, so which is not really something that we are aiming for, because that's not the goal of our purpose. We have a purpose, so our purpose is always to do devotion, loving devotional service to the Supreme Lord eternally. So what to speak of having some material things? It's temporary things, so we don't pray for that. So yeah, we will chant. You can follow me. Om Namo Bhagavate Narasingaya. Namaste Jaste Jase Avir Avir Bhava. Vajranaka Vajradamstra Karma Shayan Randaya Randaya Tamo Grasa Grasa Om Swaha Abhayam Abhayam Atmani Bhuyishta Om Shram. Okay, I think we'll go to the translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada, the key. Translation: I offer my respectful obeisances unto Lord Narsingadeva, the source of all power. O my Lord, who possess nails and teeth just like thunderbolts, kindly vanquish our demon-like desires for fruitive activity in this material world. Please appear in our hearts and drive away our ignorance, so that by your mercy we may become fearless in the struggle for existence in this material world. So please repeat. I offer my respectful obeisances unto Lord Narsingadeva, the source of all power. O my Lord, who possess nails and teeth, just like thunderbolts, kindly vanquish our demon-like desires for fruitive activity in this material world. Please appear in our hearts and drive away our ignorance, so that by your mercy we may become fearless in the struggle for existence in this material world. Okay, purport. In Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th canto, chapter 22, verse 39, Sanat Kumara speaks the following words to Maharaj Prithu. Yat pada pankaja balasha vilasha bhaktya karma shayam graditam mudgratayanti shantaha tadvannarik yukta matayo yatayo piruddha sroto ganastam aranam bhajavasudevam. Devotees always engaged in the service of the toes of the Lord's lotus feet can very easily become free from hard-knotted desires for fruitive activities. Because this is very difficult, the non-devotees, the jnanis and yogis cannot stop the waves of sense gratification, although they try to do so. Therefore, you are advised to engage in the devotional service of Krishna, the son of Vasudeva. Every living being within this material world has a strong desire to enjoy matter to his fullest satisfaction. For this purpose, the conditioned soul must accept one body after another body, and thus his strongly fixed fruitive desires continue. One cannot stop the repetition of birth and death without being completely desireless. Therefore, Srila Rupa Goswami describes pure bhakti devotional service as follows: Anyavilasita sunyam jnana karma dhyanavirtam anukulyena Krishna shilanam bhakti uttama. One should render transcendental loving service to the Supreme Lord Krishna favorably and without desire for material profit or gain through fruitive activities or philosophical speculation. That is called pure devotional service. That's the definition of pure bhakti. Yeah? So you all should know this verse. You all should know this verse. So you should be memorizing this verse. Okay. Unless one is completely freed of all material desires which are caused by the dense darkness of ignorance, one cannot fully engage in devotional service of the Lord. Therefore, we should always offer our prayers to Lord Narasingha Deva, who killed Hiranyakashipu, the personification of material desire. Hiranya means gold, and Kashipu means a soft cushion or bed. Materialistic persons always desire to make the body comfortable, and for this they require huge amounts of gold, right? How many of you are collecting gold? Thus, Hiranyakashipu was the perfect representative of materialistic life. He was therefore the cause of great disturbance to the topmost devotee Prahlad Maharaj until Lord Narasinghadev killed him. Any devotee aspiring to be free of material desires should offer his respectful prayers to Narasinghadev as Prahlad Maharaj did in this verse. Mama jnana timirandasya jana jana shalakaya chakshushanmilitam yena tasmai shri guruve namaha. Mukam garoti vachulam pangum langete girim yatkripatamam mande Shri Gurundena Taranam Paramananda Madam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Sahodata Gododeya Pushpavanto Chitra Sandota Maunado. So nice verse. Om Namo Bhagavate Narshingaya Namaste Jase Aviravir Bhava Vajranaka Vajradamstra Karma Shayan Randaya Randaya Tamo Grasa Grasa Om Swaha Abhayam Abhayam Atmani Bhuyista Om Shraum. I offer my respectful obeisances unto Lord Narasinghadev, the source of all power. O my Lord, who possess nails and teeth just like thunderbolts, kindly vanquish our demon-like desires for fruitive activity in this material world. Please appear in our hearts and drive away our ignorance so that by your mercy we may become fearless in the struggle for our existence in this material world. So in a few days, in a week, next Sunday, we are going to be celebrating Narasingha appearance day. So he's a very important deity among the avatars, Lord Nrsimhadev, Lord Rama, and Lord Krishna are considered the Purna avatars. Of course, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is one of them also, but in terms of exhibiting opulence, they are complete. Nrsimhadev is complete. Lord Ram is most complete. No, more complete. And Krishna is most complete. Yeah, so that's how we understand it. And so devotees worship Nrsimhadev to get rid of material desires from their heart. So every day if you chant this verse, so your material desires will go away. So you won't have any material ambition. But you're afraid, then you don't chant this verse. Right? It's true. If you are very afraid, don't chant. Then you can chant some Taylor Swift songs or something like that. Yeah. Right? That's what is popular in the world. Now, the living entity is described by the acharyas to be Tatastha Shakti. Tatastha Shakti means he is marginal. The nature of someone who is marginal means they can either be attracted to one side or the other side. Now, he's marginal, and on one side is Antaranga Shakti, and on the other side is the Bahiranga Shakti. These are the potencies of the Lord. All of them are potencies, including ourselves. We are also potencies of the Lord. And being potencies of the Lord, we also have tendency to be Purusha, just like the Lord. But we are very tiny Purushas. You know? We have desires, just like the Lord. But because we are Tatastha, we tend to be attracted to whichever is prominent in our experience. And so if you have never practiced devotion, then you find material life to be your samam bonam, you know, or your goal of life. But as practicing devotees, you will realize over years of practice that actually there's nothing in this material world. It's at most it's temporary, you know. Is it wrong to pursue material wealth and so on? No, not really. There's nothing wrong. But you're only prolonging your stay in this material world. You stay longer. Mostly in this material world, the experiences of the living entity is distress and suffering, mostly. And rarely do you actually experience a form of happiness that is more soul-pleasing, to say. So the great sages and teachers throughout history, they recognize that. So they want to help us not to pursue happiness and pleasures that are temporary. Actually, it's you do feel some pleasure, but it's temporary. But the happiness that we are supposed to inherit is eternal. And we are not understanding that. And so the teachers and sages like Srila Prabhupada, they take special journey to this material world to slap us up, you know, awaken us up and say, hey, you know, there's better things. Why do you waste your life in this? Now, having understood that principle that actually we are meant for a higher purpose, for serving in the spiritual realm, wanting to focus on that spiritual aspect becomes difficult when we don't practice properly. And so here you can see the Prahlad Maharaj is giving a solution, how to be able to approach the Supreme Person, how to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And the prayers that we are supposed to pray to the Lord. Generally, if you look in the Bhagavad Gita, Shri Krishna explains how those who have alpa meda, less intelligence, they worship the demigods, yeah. And they worship the demigods for temporary things. If you have a permanent solution and you have a patch, some temporary patch for your system, which one would you choose? Huh? Permanent nonsense. You go to the companies, they will choose the temporary. Why? Okay, cheaper, less time involved, and easy and recurring problem. So I will get recurring income. Yeah. So this is the nature of the material world. And you can see everything is temporary. No one wants a permanent solution. So if you understand the principles of what bhakti is, then you should also ask yourself, why am I pursuing temporary solutions for my life? It's important. You have to ask yourself, what is my purpose after 50, 60, 70 years old? What you will never be satisfied, actually. It's like Prabhupada gives another example. Like if you have burning fire in wood, if you keep pouring ghee slowly, drops and drops, will the fire go away? It'll still become stronger and stronger, and it's not satisfied. The fire is not satisfied. It's like, give me more, give me more. So material life is like that. Although we may think we are happy, but that happiness is not fulfilling. It doesn't generate satisfaction. And so, mostly in the practice of bhakti, the individual or collective mass is encouraged to perform austerities. By performing austerities, you will divorce yourself away from the modes affecting your consciousness. How is that? Well, generally, Purusha prakriti stohi bhungte prakriti jan guna karanam guna sangas sadasadyoni janmas. Yeah. So what does it mean? As you enjoy the material energy, you're associating with different modes. And so that mode that you enjoy most is going to affect your consciousness. And that consciousness will allow you to take birth in different species to enjoy that which you are hankering for. And therefore, there's no choice to go back, You are always stuck in this infinite cycle of birth, death, old age, and disease. And is that the goal? No, it's not. That's not our purpose. We were not created, I can't use the word created because we always exist. Na tu evaham jatu nasam na tuam nemin janadipa na chaiva na vishamahe sarveyaham ataha param. Krishna tells Arjuna, never was there a time when these kings did not exist, nor you nor I, O Arjuna. We always exist. Although we were created. Actually, the right word is we are expansions of the Lord. I've said this, Mama Yangsa Jiva Loka. So we are anshas or expansions of the Lord. So we have the same nature as the Lord, just like drops of ocean is salty, just like the vast ocean. But the drop of ocean cannot hurt you, but the ocean can overwhelm you. And so, but what is our nature? Our nature is just like the Lord's nature. And so the Lord is telling us these are not meant for us. This material nature is not for us to enjoy. Devi Eshugunamai Mamamaya Duratyaya. He's saying this energy is my personal energy also, divine energy. And it's not easy to overcome. Duratyaya. Actually, it's impossible. You cannot overcome this material energy. The only way is through the process of bhakti yoga. And to get that benediction from the Lord, one has to do it favorably, consistently, constantly, for the pleasure of the Supreme Law. And therefore, Srila Rupa Goswami quotes this, Anya Bilashita Shunyam Jnana Karmadi Anavritam Anukulyena Krishnanu Shilanam Bhakti Uttama. Then your bhakti is topmost. Uttama Bhakti. Otherwise, the bhakti becomes Mishra. Mishra means mixed. So sometimes people do Karma Mishra Bhakti, Jnana Mishra Bhakti, and so on. Mishra Bhakti, Mishra. Mixing and doing whatever you want and then thinking that is bhakti. I'm chanting 16 rounds, but I go and do any nonsense, I'm doing bhakti. Yeah. Right? Full devotion takes place when you are 24/7 thinking of the Lord. Now, of course, you may be thinking, well, I don't know if I can ever do that or not. Yeah, definitely not immediately. Can people do it? Yeah, but those are exceptions to the rule. But for most of us, we need to practice on a daily basis. Part of the practice in daily basis is glorification of the Lord. Right? Not just chanting. Chanting is one form of glorification. Singing kirtan is another way of glorifying the Lord. And chanting prayers is another way of glorifying the Lord. So you can also go through the Bhagavatam, prayers of Kunti Devi, prayers of Bhishma Dev, prayers of Gajendra, all these prayers, Prithu Maharaj, and so on. You can use those prayers, remember a few. Every time you can chant those prayers for the Lord. Yeah? So here, Prahlad Maharaj's prayers are here. Yeah? These are not many prayers, but you can remember these prayers also and offer to the Lord. And here, Prahlad Maharaj is telling Nrsimhadev, now that I'm stuck in this material world, and I have difficulty because my nature now, well, as I mentioned, because we are spirit, so we have tendency to be spiritual or material. Whichever is stronger, we tend to move towards that. Now I'm too attracted to the material things, so it's overwhelming me. I cannot worship you purely. So he says, come into my heart and tear away all these material desires that I have. And that is the mood of a devotee, that I want to get out of this. Otherwise, I will be looking for enjoyment and comfort in this material world. This is not our place, but yet we are trying to look for comfort here. Right? Just like I mentioned the other day also, even beggars or homeless people, right? They go under different parts of the, wherever they get a place, they will make that place comfortable. They bring scraps of cardboard or sponges, they put it there, and they also want to make it comfortable. Although we have nice homes and so on, looking at them, we are thinking these are poor souls. But actually, we are doing the same thing. If you really think about it, this is not our place. This is Krishna says this is a junky place, and we came here, and then we are making it comfortable. And it's a very strong desires to become comfortable and feeling that I am controlling my environment, I'm happy, right? Just like we have AC and so on, we control the environment. We think we feel good. Once the power goes off, then what? For 1 week, no power, what do? The real bhakti comes out. You actually accept the situation. Right or not? You accept the condition. You say, okay, kesara sera, right? Whatever will be, will be. Now I'll move on, But because we can get some of these temporary comforts, and this is how we get trapped in this material world. So we should be very diligent, you cannot actually practice pure devotional service if you pursue these temporary things, and pursuing temporary things will lead to sinful activities ultimately. And if you do sinful activities, you cannot worship Krishna. Esham tu antagata papam jnanamam punya karmana te dvanda nirmukta bhajantima drudha vrataha. You cannot worship with determination Krishna if you have sinful proclivation. Yeah. So yeah, yeah. So unless we are free from all these desires, one cannot fully engage in devotional service. Srila Prabhupada says. Otherwise, we'll be looking for nice chairs, and otherwise we'll be looking for soft mattress, right? Whether it's air mattress or water mattress or spring-loaded mattress, or it's they have new ones now, hybrid mattress, Everything is just looking for some bodily comfort. Should we not have bodily comfort? No, I didn't say that. I'm saying you should have a balanced life, and if it's worth it, yeah, and if it allows you to do devotion better, okay. But otherwise, you shouldn't. Obviously, if you don't have an AC here, and then in the middle of summer, who's going to come to the temple to worship? Nobody will be interested. So therefore, it is a necessity. But it's used for Krishna's service. Yeah. So therefore, we have to understand everything should be used in that purpose. The purpose must be meaningful. And so if we understand the purpose properly, then our determination to go back to Godhead is pure. It's correct. And then this prayer to Lord Nrsimhadev is acceptable. Like say, please come into my heart and tear away this desire. But otherwise you will say, no, not yet. Right? Otherwise, how can we say, Bahir Narsingha, Hridaye Narsingha? Right? You chant every morning. Do you know why you're chanting that? For protection, please Lord, protect me from the allurement of this material nature. It is so powerful. I do not know. I am overwhelmed always. I do not know how to approach you. You kindly remove these desires in my heart. There are roadblocks. And I take detours. I find the detours are far more pleasant than journeying towards you. So you kindly help me understand my purpose clearly. Yeah. Right? And then you become fearless. Abhaya, abhaya. I become fearless. What is our fear? That is a fear. Everyone fears death, but what is the other fear? Huh? Really? Oh, mostly the fear is I cannot enjoy. Material fear is I cannot enjoy. I'll be suffering. Others are enjoying, So here they are saying, please, so that I become fearless means I have the understanding that if I don't pursue material things, I have a proper goal. That is a guaranteed goal. I know I'm protected by you, so therefore I'm not fearful. Generally, we don't want to give up the material attraction because we are fearful. That's what he's saying here. Abhayam abhayam atmani bhuyishta. He's saying fearlessness in my mind. May you appear to drive away that fearfulness. Give me the fearlessness so that I can embrace bhakti purely. Because now we do 1 feet here, 1 feet there, right? Some bhakti and some days no bhakti, Yeah. Right or not? Yeah. It's not easy, I understand, but by practice, Shanai, Shanai, slowly but gradually you will come to the pure state. But you must have faith in the beginning. And so you can practice nicely. In doing that properly, you'll come to the conclusion of what Prahlad Maharaj has come to. Yeah. Right? So, yeah, I think maybe if there's anything, let me see. Do I want to? Yeah, even in the 6th canto, there's this verse, Kechit kevalaya bhaktya vasudeva parayanaha agham dunvanti krishnyena niharam eva bhaskara. 6:115. And the translation Prabhupada gives is, only a rare person who has adopted complete unalloyed devotional service to Krishna can uproot the weeds of sinful actions with no possibility that they will revive. He can do this simply by discharging devotional service, just as the sun can immediately dissipate fog by its rays. So the opportunity to do devotion or bhakti is very rare. Not everybody gets the opportunity. Even if you go outside and tell them this is rare, please do it, most people cannot accept it. Otherwise, no, they can't accept it because they cannot see, they cannot understand. Mostly we are in ignorance. It's through the efforts of the sages, the acharyas, and devotees who try to evoke the, by association with others, what we are doing is we are removing the other person's covering, the ignorance, and then they become come to the level of goodness, and in goodness they can recognize that they are actually suffering. Most people cannot see that because they are in ignorance, and therefore they think their suffering is also happiness for them. Right? Just like if you see a man eat stool, what do you think? He's crazy, right? Yeah. But then if you see pigs eat stool, you think it's normal. But both are suffering though. The pig in that body is eating stool, enjoying the stool, but it's suffering. That's not his natural condition. The spirit soul's natural condition is to be serving the Supreme Lord. So anything we do in this material world is not natural, except bhakti. Right. So the more you are accumulating sin, it becomes like a fog here in this. And the sun is the discharge of devotional service, which clears the fog. And so you can understand what you're meant to do. Yeah. Yeah. So if you don't do devotional service, the possibility that your sinful desires will disappear is zero. But if you do bhakti, yeah, it will happen sooner or later. Okay. All right. So I think I will stop here. It's 8:20. Some discussion, some reflections, something you want to add, something you want to correct. Yeah. Feel free to do so.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Thank you for a wonderful class. So I remember that like Srila Prabhupada mentioned that spiritual life is difficult, but material life is impossible.
Yes.
Yeah. So my question, so you are saying that we should not aspire for more material desires which will hamper our bhakti. But I also heard in the classes saying that if we are not doing our material duties properly, then they come and backbite us, then that will disturb our bhakti. So how to draw a line, how much I need to do the material duties, how much I need to do bhakti, or how to reduce this as a family man?
I think Srila Prabhupada never said like if you don't do your, things will come back and bite you. Most of his emphasis is you do your duties, but do it for the pleasure of Krishna, right? What pleases Krishna. For example, let's say you are buying a house. No, a better example is buy a car, easier, right? Let's say you buy a car, and you have so many types of cars you can buy, right? You can buy a very expensive, what is that? Lotus Aspiratus, Aspire, right? Or you can buy a Toyota or a Dodge, whatever. Now, all these cars are going to take you from your home to your workplace or to wherever you go. They can't all do the same thing. But why do you want to buy the Lotus Aspire? It's fast, but in these streets, how fast can you go? I remember one time we were going on a highway and this guy went on one of those Ferrari Zoom, very fast going through all the cars, Then after 10 minutes, we saw him in front of us. We were just going in our normal Honda or something like that. Yeah. So it actually is a waste of his money and so on. It's he may feel good inside the car. His extension of his ego is a car now, So I'm a car now. I am this blue Ferrari driving on the highway, cool, right? That's what he's thinking like that. But then after he comes out of the car, he's a small guy, nothing, Nobody gives a damn. But if his friends may think he's got money and so on, but all these are not what we aspire for. So balance means I only need something that can fulfill that need. Not that you need more than that. Or as I was saying, if you buy a house, there's 3 of you, so buy a 3-bedroom is good enough. Why buy a 10-bedroom house? Then you have never explored parts of your home after 10 years, Right? People, I've heard people, we never go upstairs. Why? There's only 2 of us here. Yeah, I've heard devotees say that also. Yeah, so unnecessarily, but point is, as you get older and you should downsize. But I do not know whether you can downsize nowadays. Right? Things have become so crazy, you can't even downsize. I remember one couple, they downsized. They had a big house, they sold the house, they downsized. The smaller house is more expensive than the house they sold. So I don't know what's happening to the world. But the point is, if you can afford something now, don't go for the extremes. Then because it's going to overwhelm you. Let's say you buy a house that's $1.3 million, then you're working to pay off the mortgage. And the bank and they all are schemers. They're all con men. They go to college to become big con men. That's all. They're just cheating people. And if they all see themselves clearly, they can see that they are all just cheaters. It's sad though, but they cannot see that. And so you suffer, no? You can't pay the mortgage, then the bank comes smiling and say, yeah, we'll take over. Right? So many cases you find the bank will take the whole thing and sell it to someone else, and then the owner is kicked out just like that. And they have to go to the court cases, right? And the courts can't do for 10 years, they fight. And who pays the money? The guy who lost the house. So balance means I should be satisfied and I should focus on the Supreme Lord's pleasure, with what I have. And what happens is when you take care of the Lord, Yoga Kshema Vahami Aham, I take care of you. When you lovingly reciprocate and give me a place in your home, you boga, you offer, arti, you offer, I will take care of your needs. You don't need so much. When Lord Brahma first appeared, he was told to do tapa. Then he realized I have to do austerity. So performing austerities, he became purified, and then he became pleased. He became satisfied. Then he got the ability to have the audience of the Lord, who then gave him the empowerment to do material creation. And he is satisfied completely. So in the same way also we have to understand, duty, yeah. What is the duty? You have kids, make sure they're educated, you feed them, a roof on top, and then what else? Time to get married, marry them off, and your duty is over. What else do you need? It's like Kirtan is ready to get married. And start his own problems. Yeah, life is just what? Full of problems. Unless you're taking devotion, yeah. Right? It's difficult, getting married also, because you have your own mind and senses, and then when you marry, then you have another person plus their mind and senses to deal with. Yeah. So balance. Yeah.
Hare Krishna Raj. So from what I understood, there's two ways of identifying. Like, I identify with the results of my actions, and then also with my desires. So I've from until now, my thought was that I shouldn't identify with the results, but desires is okay, because that's my duty, or that's what I'm supposed to do. But how do we understand that even the desire is not part of us? It's just a material attachment.
I think it's the same thing. The desire should please Krishna, mostly. On rare occasions, when the devotees like Dhruva Maharaj and so on, when they had desires, I want the universe, I want to rule the universe. But the Lord, and then finally when he met Krishna, then he said, I don't want it anymore, because I realized that these desires are not really worth it, because material desires are meaningless. So he realized that. But the Lord said, that's okay, because now I'm saying you can enjoy. And so he enjoyed for 35,000 years. But at the end of that 35,000 years, he came to the same conclusion. I'm not happy here. I just want to be with the Supreme Lord. Yeah, so your desire should be, do you desire welfare for your family? Yes. Do you desire happiness for others? Yes. But how you go about accomplishing those desires is also very important. Just like in the case of Arjuna in the battlefield, they desired to rule, but how they went about wanting to rule is they didn't want to fight. But then because of the whole adharmic principles becoming prevalent at that time, Krishna decided this is not acceptable. And so he said, although Arjuna wasn't desiring to kill his cousin brothers, he wanted to please Krishna. Therefore, he went against his own desires. But the key thing is what pleases Krishna. Yeah. So that's what your action should be ultimately. Yeah.
So they're not detached, even though.
Yes.
Okay.
You become detached automatically from your desires. The desires you are, instead of for yourself, now it's for Krishna. So every action you do is for Krishna. Like for example, if you are Krishna conscious and your son, whatever, argues with you all the time, and he says, I want this, I want, and then you have to see, if I buy my son this thing, it's not good for him, but how does he see my worship of Krishna? Right? He says, you're always worshiping Krishna and you don't care about me. Right? It's a possibility. But you can buy and say, look, I meditated and Krishna told me that maybe it's okay, I buy you this thing. Yeah. But thank Krishna for that. Yeah. So there you're connecting him to Krishna. So he sees Krishna as being a pivotal point in your decision making. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. So the material desires or the material attachment is different for everyone. So is austerity also different? Like some person just downgrading to whatever lotus is like austerity for someone, and someone just having Honda is austerity for them. So would that count, or there is an absolute austerity that everyone should follow?
It's like this. It's a good point what you're saying. Different personalities will go through different levels of austerities to come to the same realization. Yeah? It's not that everyone has to do the same. Our austerity is already given by Prabhupada. Chant 16 rounds. Follow 4 regulative principles. Follow 16 regulative principles. 4 regulative principles. So following those 4 regulative is our austerities. Chanting 16 round is both austerity because we are giving up time for the pleasure of the Lord. So that's a type of austerity, but it's pleasing to Krishna. So all these activities are pleasing to Krishna, and therefore you're making advancement. Yeah. Let's say someone has a spinal injury. So they have to sleep in a particular bed mattress, right? Otherwise they can't sleep, and therefore they cannot do the service. So they need that type of bed mattress, but you don't need it. So you can't say because they have that mattress, I will also buy a mattress like that. So that is not what we are talking about. So your austerity is you don't buy that mattress. Yeah. And someone will say, I don't need a mattress, I can sleep on the floor. Right? But for their level of austerity, doesn't mean all of you have to sleep on the floor. Yeah. So you have to see what elevates you to do better in your Krishna consciousness. Yeah. But not that it degrades you to enjoy material energy. Yeah. So that's how we have to balance. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you for the wonderful class. Please accept my apology because I may not be saying it right. So initially when I joined ISKCON, I was told 16 rounds and 4 regulative principles. You also said that. But over time, we keep hearing more and more, no Netflix, no material desires. Like it just increases and increases. It's like what sounded simple in the beginning, it's not really that simple.
Yes.
So
Bhakti, everyone thinks bhakti is easy. It's not. Because the whole idea about Krishna consciousness, ultimately why we are chanting 69 following regulative principles, it comes down to this one aphorism. Smartavya satatam Vishnu Vishmartavya najatus. What it means is always remember Krishna and never forget Krishna. How are you going to do if you are watching Netflix? Right? So therefore, as you are practicing, then we tell you, okay, now you're ready for next level. Next level means no Netflix. Huh? Yeah, and then include morning Bhagavatam class, no binge watching, you can binge watch Bhagavatam classes, but it may be too much for most people. Yeah, 1 is enough, right? Even half is too much. Yeah. So it depends on your consciousness, where you are at. And if you find you're more attracted to material things, then you should accept that you're not that advanced. One of the things in practice of Krishna consciousness is you have to be honest with yourself. Doesn't matter about other things. You are the practitioner. You should know, I'm not there yet, Yeah, but it doesn't mean I'm not there, therefore do I still go further down? So that's where you have to have good association to with devotees and say, you know, hey, I'm still having desires for, you know, some material things. I still want to go and do certain things. How do I, you know, minimize those things? So instead of going out and playing maybe bridge with your friend every Saturday evening, maybe you can come to the temple and play kirtan, like that. So yeah, it's not that we are adding more. It's just that we are making you aware that these are the things you shouldn't be doing because they are not connected to Krishna. Yeah. If it's connected to Krishna, then go ahead and watch as much Netflix you want.
I mean, that was just an example.
I know, don't worry about it. I'm giving you as an example also. Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, it's just that so many things, like as Prabhu said, Bhagavatam class, Bhagavad Gita, we have to read, we have to only eat prashadam. It's like
What's the alternative?
a break.
Break from what? It's either Maya or Krishna. So when you break, where are you? If you're not Krishna conscious, then you have to be. Yeah. We are already in Maya consciousness. And then now with all the media and AI and what is that? They wear the thing, virtual thing. So you go into Maya, nested Maya. Yeah, you can never come out. Or like Matrix, no? Yeah, I remember, yeah.
I have a follow-up question. So if there's still material desire, that means what is it lacking that we are not doing?
That means you're not practicing properly. Yeah, you may not be chanting properly, or like, you know, some people chant and watch something, chant and call people, you know, Hare Krishna Krishna. Yeah, but you know, you shouldn't be doing that. Hare Krishna Krishna. You know, so all this, the whole idea is to give time to Krishna. But if you're not giving time to Krishna, then you're not connecting with Krishna, and therefore purification isn't setting in. And if purification is not setting in, therefore your desires for material nature is still there. In fact, it'll get worse. Yeah. So that's the only reason. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you. Just reflection, Maharaj.
Yeah.
About AC and summer. Last year I went to Vrindavana. That's the first time I went to Vrindavana in my life. So all these years of practice, I was picturing Vrindavana. It is indeed like that. But we went in a peak summer. Yes. And
when? May or June?
June. And I realized that real bhakti came out at that time. And like too hard. And I was, even though chanting, but the consciousness was not there. And so that really helped. Thanks. And one more point about austerity. Thanks a lot, Mataji, for a wonderful question. I always have this question of how far we can go in austerities, but all the regulative principles, that is good, but can we extend more? If our body is supporting, can we extend more to do austerity, and where we can draw the line, especially with the fasting, Ekadasi fasting, or anything else? That's
Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said you should be lenient with others, but strict with ourselves. So you do what you do, but you don't enforce that on others. Yeah. Now, by your example, they may be attracted and they may follow you, but we don't force others to do. So simply by following the 4 regulative principles and chanting nicely and doing service, you are making advancement. Utsaha nischet dairya tat karma pravartana. So sangotyaga sato vritte. So these are the things you need to do. Why you want to do something more? Srila Prabhupada has already given us all the austerities to perform. Why you create your own one? Standing on your head, and chanting 16 rounds. Okay.
Just regarding the austerity, I always had the desire of chaturmasya, strict chaturmasya, like Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj was like hands
and
no
eating
touch,
on the floor.
Yeah.
But did Prabhupada tell us to do that? So then why you are talking about that?
Sorry, Maharaj.
Yeah.
I just don't.
But like I say, if you want to do, go ahead and do. But I will eat nicely. I will only do whatever Prabhupada said. Don't eat spinach, no yogurt, milk fast, no radal. So I'm fine with that. Yeah. Why you all add extra? Even Ekadasi, what Prabhupada said, no grains and beans. That's all. Some people say, oh, you can't eat eggplant, you can't. But Prabhupada ate all those things. So why we have to include that, Prabhupada already knew the consciousness of the people in this yuga. So he has given, he's the Acharya. I mean, at least that's how I see. But if your spiritual master tells you to do something, then just follow him. Yeah. Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. So you mentioned that sacrifice helps in controlling the three modes. Could you explain how that sacrifice and modes are related?
The sacrifices mentioned, like Krishna mentioned in the 4th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, right? There's different types of sacrifices. Sacrificing your breathing for pranayam, sacrificing your time to study with the brahmacharis and so on, right? So what does it mean? It means all those sacrifices are mentioned in the Shastras, and that means they are approved by the Lord. So anything that is approved and accepted, when you do it, then it will bring you first to the mode of goodness. Okay, from mode of goodness, then you can understand the purpose behind life itself. And then you start seriously doing bhakti. So when you do bhakti, then the modes of material nature won't touch you. Right? Yeah.
Basically, anything mentioned in the Shastra is going to bring us into mode of goodness, and regardless of sacrifice or any other activity. So then we can make progress.
Yeah, you will make progress if it's in the Shastra. You just follow those things, you will make progress. What is the reason for that? This you will get something out of it. For example, even if you worship the demigods, some of these activities you have to do, you have to control your senses, you have to fast. All those actually making you in the mode of goodness. Yeah. And then your sacrifice becomes successful. Yeah. But of course, if you use it for the wrong reason, just like that demons, right? They used to get power, and then they try to even attack Shiva, Yeah, like that, yeah. So for the wrong reason, you can use it also for the wrong reason. But generally for us, our sacrifices should please Krishna. Just like we are not supposed to hurt your body, but there's people who hurt their body, right? What is the Vrikashura, right? He was cutting his head or something like that, flesh offering. So those are hurting the body. And the Lord wasn't pleased. Even Lord Shiva wasn't pleased with him. But to stop him from doing such nonsense, he appeared. Yeah. Actually, he didn't want to appear. He said, let this guy do whatever he wants, But he said, this is too much. So he came and said, okay, what do you want? Boon, give, take, like that. Yeah. But generally, the sacrifices you do should be sacrifices that are going to bring you to the mode of goodness. You shouldn't do sacrifices that lead you to darkness. Yeah. So it's also in the Bhagavad Gita, right? Types of sacrifice and so. Yeah.
Example would be like sacrificing animals. That could be.
Well, you do not know how to sacrifice animals, right? In this age, so we shouldn't do those things. It's against Shastra. In Kali Yuga, we shouldn't do that. Certain things are forbidden in Kali Yuga, so you have to know, okay, it's not acceptable. So the only thing is, if you really want to do sacrifice animal, then you have to look for a dark moon night, and then sacrifice it to Kali Mata. And then the prayer, one of the mantras is, now I kill you, next time you kill me. Why would anyone say that and kill, right? Unless you are foolish, yeah. So that's more of ignorance already. Yeah. So as I mentioned again, sacrifices means those that are pleasing to Krishna. Those are the sacrifices we follow. Yeah.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Okay. All right. I think we can end here. Thank you for the...
Hare Krishna.
You have something?
No, Sarveshri Mataji will give a quick summary of the class and thank you note.
Okay.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. So I would like to sincerely thank you, Maharaj, for your inspiring and enlightening class today. So you have mentioned so many wonderful points. So I would like to share some of the points which I noted down. So material desire is never enough. So it keeps growing and causes pain. So everyone in the material world wants to enjoy. So we keep taking birth again and again. So to stop this cycle, we must give up all the material desires and perform pure devotional service to Krishna with love, without expecting anything in return. And also devotional service, devotion to God brings true peace and joy. So we should also pray like Prahlad Maharaj, ask God to remove bad desires. And we are not this body, we are soul, meant to serve Lord. We should use money and things for God, not for selfish pleasure. And we should always chant and read scriptures like Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. And fear comes when we are too attached to material things. And only God can protect us when we ask Him with a sincere heart. Devotion is like sunlight. It removes darkness and ignorance. So real happiness comes from loving and serving the Lord. So thank you, Maharaj, for your clear explanation and for giving practical examples. And thank you very much for your valuable time and giving your divine association and sharing your knowledge with us, guiding us on the path of bhakti. So please continue to pour your blessings on us, Prabhuji, so we can serve Guru and Gauranga with sincerity and devotion. Thank you, Maharaj. So I stop here. So let's show our gratitude to His Holiness Radha Krishna Maharaj by loudly chanting.
No, it's His grace. Don't use His Holiness. That's for sannyasis, you do His Holiness.
Okay, His grace, Radha Krishna Maharaj, by loudly chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra.
Okay.
One time.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai.